The Adventures of
Mrs. Flataway. Hello, boys and girls. I had some great adventures over spring break. I'm going to tell you about one of them now. I shared a crazy adventure with Silas and his family. We planned to fly from Birmingham to England and Scotland. We flew from Birmingham to Washington, D.C. While in the air, we saw the Washington Monument and the Capitol building. After that, we flew to Boston, Massachusetts. Everything was going great. Next, we were going to fly across the Atlantic Ocean to London, England. About the time we were halfway there, the pilot announced that there was a fire and no power at the airport in London.
Heathrow Airport is closed after an electrical substation fire caused a power outage on Friday.
The plane turned around and took us back to Boston. Silas and his dad were disappointed. They really wanted to go to Scotland. His dad tried to find a new flight, but it would be several days before a flight would be available. Silas's family and I talked about it. We decided to see Boston and the surrounding areas. We saw Harvard University, several historical places, such as the Old North Church, Paul Revere's house, the ship where the Boston Tea Party took place, and the site of the Boston Massacre. After that, we drove to Salem. That was the site of the Salem witch trials. After that, we saw other states in the area, like New Hampshire, Maine, Vermont, Rhode Island, and Connecticut. Later, we visited one of the busiest cities in our country, New York City. That is a busy place. We had pizza, saw the Empire State Building, Times Square, Central Park, and NBC Studios. We did a lot of walking that day. The next day, we traveled to our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. We saw the Jefferson Memorial, built to honor Thomas Jefferson, the Washington Monument, the World War II Memorial, the Lincoln Memorial, built to honor Abraham Lincoln, and finally, the White House. This was a long trip. I hate we didn't get to go to England and Scotland, but maybe Silas will let me go with him in June. It was a great trip. Silas can tell you more about it. See you next time on Mrs. Flataway's Adventures.